One power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown, Atlanta. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear, and you are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Whoever you are, whatever brought you here today, please know that you are welcome and celebrated. We know who you are. You're an individual expression of the divine life in which we all live. We are life's opportunity to be someone unique and wonderful. Whatever your ethnic background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself or describe yourself, we are glad you're joining us here today. You are welcome to be a part of this community in whatever way serves you. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And now, for a little bit more about who we are, our declarations of principle as part of our declaration of principle as written by Ernest Holmes.
A few of the declaration of principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful, hey.
So we get to have a practitioner who is someone who has demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives. They've demonstrated that they know how to bring about these changes in others when asked as well. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they are available to you to provide spiritual guidance and support in those areas where you're looking for assistance yourself. And you can contact them through our website, cslmidtown.org. Today, we've got one of our wonderful practitioners to share good ideas and an affirmative prayer called a spiritual mind treatment. Actually, she's doing kind of a meditation this morning. Welcome, Judy Ailey.
Oh, thanks, Vance. Well, welcome to the last Sunday of 2024. We are closing up our grand rising, and that's been our yearly theme. And this month, the theme has been sticking the landing. And I look forward to hearing our talk today about being open at the top and allowing spirit to flow through our lives. But, today, as we move through the last Sunday of 2024, it seems fitting to share with you all a world healing meditation. And as I share this with you, this is also going to be our spiritual mind treatment for today, because it is like a prayer, it's a treatment. And so that will be followed by music for reflection. But a little bit about the history of this. The World Healing Day first took place on December 31st, 1986. It was conceived of in 1984. The purpose of this was to reverse the polarity of any kind of negative thinking in the race consciousness of the world, and to begin to achieve a critical mass of spiritual consciousness to usher in a new era of peace on earth. In the beginning, in 1986, over 500 million people representing all faiths, all 7 continents, and over 70 countries participated. And today we are going to participate in this vision for a more peaceful earth. If you would like to participate in this in 2024, it will take place on December 31st at noon Greenwich time, which is 7 a.m. for the Eastern time zone. So if you are so moved to do that, to join in the world, knowing peace on earth and meditating at that time, you can join in with many millions of others. But for today, let's do this here and now together. If you feel comfortable where you are, close your eyes and get to a really relaxed place. And allow the words that I'm going to say to enter your consciousness and to permeate your being. And know that you are in a safe place, and that these ideas and words are powerful as we send these truths out into the world. And allow them to sink deep into our conscious and even our unconscious mind. So just take a couple of nice, slow, deep breaths and allow yourself to be fully present right here and right now. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Now was the time of new beginning. We are all co-creators with God, and it is a new heaven that comes. As the goodwill of God is expressed on earth through all of us, we know that it is the reality of light, love, peace, and understanding. And I am, and we are all doing our part to reveal its reality. Let us each begin with ourselves. We are each a living soul, and the Spirit of God dwells in me and in you, as me and as you. We are each one with the Spirit, and all that Spirit has is ours. In truth, I am a child of God. We are each children of God. What is true of me is true of everyone, for God is all, and all is God. I see only the Spirit of God in every soul. And to every man, woman, and child on earth, we each say, "I love you, for you are me. You each are a reflection of my holy self." We each open our hearts and let the pure essence of unconditional love pour out. We see it as a golden light radiating from the center of our beings. And we each feel its divine vibration in and through us, above and below us. We are one with the light. We are filled with the light. We are illumined by the light. We are the light of the world. With this purpose in mind, we send forth the light. We let the radiance go before us to join the other lights. We see the merging lights coming together. There is now one light. We are the light of the world. The one light of love, peace, and understanding is moving. It flows across the face of the earth, touching and illuminating every soul in the shadow of the illusion. And where there was darkness, there is now the light of love and of ultimate reality. And the radiance grows, permeating, saturating every form of life. There is only the vibration of one perfect life now. All the souls of earth respond, and the planet is alive with light and love. There is total oneness, And in this oneness, we speak the word. Let the sense of separation be dissolved. Let humankind be returned to spirit. Let peace come forth in every mind. Let love flow forth from every heart. Let forgiveness reign in every soul. Let understanding be the common bound. And now from the light of the world, the one presence and power of the universe responds. The activity of God is healing and harmonizing planet Earth. Omnipotence is made manifest. The sense of separation is no more. The healing has taken place, and the world is restored to the truth of goodness. This is the beginning of peace on earth and goodwill toward all. As love flows forth from every heart, forgiveness reigns in every soul, and all hearts and minds are one in perfect understanding. We open our hearts to this, we let it be so, and we are grateful, and so it is.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. And we'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power, oh, one power is what we are. One power, one power. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Welcome back. So, our speaker this morning is Reverend Dr. Alma Stevens. She began her conscious spiritual journey in 1960. She completed the requirements and now is the Centers for Spiritual Living for the ministry and became ordained in 1982. She was called the senior minister to Inner Light, CSL, in 1980, where she remained in continuous service until retirement in 2017. She received her doctorate in Bible studies in 2007 from the Universal Life Church in Modesto, California, and she began writing affirmative prayer books, a series of 17 books, when she completed that in 2015. She's published 8 books to date, and she's published a prayer book for children in 2019. All the books are published by Balboa Press and sold on Amazon and at Barnes & Noble. Her latest book is now at press, Heal Your Mind and Your Body Will Heal. It's a book 8 and a supplement to book 1, which is about healing diseases. Her prayer books are designed to develop human potential and are based on the principles of answered prayer according to the philosophy of the science of mind. Welcome, Dr. Alma Stevens.
Thank you, and it is my pleasure, my privilege, if you will, to show up, to support this beautiful, beautiful setting that you have created for Midtown. Our song this morning, Only One Power. The only power there is love. And you're continuing with the idea of Midtown is certainly the power of love. Our topic this morning, a grand rising. I ask, what have you done to prove to yourself you have expanded your consciousness by practicing principles shared throughout this year? The theme, a grand rising, was presented as an aid in that expansion. In religious science, we often say we are open at the top. But it is one thing to be open, and it is another to expand into that openness. In reference to our theme for the month, it was a tool used to experience the consciousness of the group for attraction. When we promote a theme, we can be assured that our organization will expand. So we continue to speak on themes to develop the group consciousness of love for Midtown. There's an old Zen saying, when you get to the top of the mountain, keep climbing. Keep climbing. The principles is symbolic of the mountains, and they stay the same. But our relation to them expand as our mind, heart, and wisdom expand. It's comfortable to stay with the old, but growth does not happen in old comfort. We moved into a new age, the age of Aquarius, the age of love. And it is necessary that we change our basic habits to live in the energy of the Aquarius or the age of love. We'll review 4 principles that require that we continue in our rising as we keep climbing the mountain to continue to expand consciousness, to take in more love, to heal the planet. Let us contemplate the first of 4 principles Ernest Holmes wrote about for us to incorporate in our lives. The first is, he wrote, principle is not bound by precedents. And that's Psalms of Mine, page 162, 3rd paragraph. An earlier event or action that is regarded as an example or guide to be considered in subsequent similar circumstances. Principle is not bound by precedent. So I understand this principle to mean, regardless to what happened in my life 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I am to look for new ways to handle the situation as I have expanded consciousness since that time. And I am a different person. We tend to want to stay with the same, do things the same old way. And the way things were are no longer valid in our life. If we are consciously working to remain aware and conscious of our actions, then we must notice the change. Any restrictions, constrictions, or blockages to divine flow are self-created. Our fear and belief in separation. For most of us, me included, we hesitate sometimes to take that step forward because of fear. And we're told to do it, feel the fear, and do it anyway. And we will find that it will be necessary for us to move through much fear in the coming years. As we have expanded into the consciousness of love, the only energy or essence that's coming to the earth is love. And we must, as religious scientists, as mystics, as light bearers, embrace that light to heal the planet. We breathe deeply and become aware of the eternal flow of the Spirit through us. We expand our ability to experience and express that Spirit. We find new ways to express the eternal principle that guides the universe more fully. We find new ways to be spirit in form, for that's what we are, simply spirit in form. We move from a consciousness of life happening to us to life happening by me, then life happening through me. Heretofore, we have seen or perhaps said, oh, this happened to me, oh, that happened to me. It happened through you, for God works through us. We must change with the time. We're living in a new age, which requires we change the way we've always done things. We're moved into what is called the fourth dimension, and that is the dimension of love. Therefore, our action must equal those of the vibration of love, or we find ourselves challenged. The second one is evolution is always forward. Science of Mind, page 387, paragraph 1. Science records the earliest humans have been on Earth for 6 million years. And for the past 6 million years, our bodies have evolved to what we see now. And we are just beginning to develop this body. Some years ago, my teacher said, we are simply babes in these bodies. And I looked around it, or I could not understand what he meant, that we are babes in these bodies. And what he simply meant is that we are forever evolving. We are forever evolving into that grand body, the grand spiritual body that we call the human being. You see, we were in the Garden of Eden when we developed our emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. And when those bodies, or I call them bodies, for the lack of a different word, we moved out of the Garden of Eden into this, what we call Earth, to develop the body. To stay open at the top requires that we be willing to change our behavior patterns in all areas of our life. Now we're in the process of developing the physical body, and we must become willing to not just be aware that we are up open at the top, but expand into that consciousness. Be willing to shift the diet, to try new menus, new foods, to go along with the way that you have been thinking. We say we are new thought, so we need a new food to go into the new body. I concluded that there are few people on earth without a story about the body, and that is because we are still developing it. To thrive in this new age of love, to realize its perfection. So we are to raise our vibration to love by participating in loving action, as love is a verb. Remember, there's only one power, and that power is love. And when we are practicing loving action, we are developing that perfect human being, that body which we call human being. With this knowledge, we can love and praise ourselves for the progress we've made in using principles to climb the mountain. Our third idea or concept is we are to stay open at the top. He wrote in his book, Sermon by the Sea, now more than ever, we are to look for new ideas as we are in a new age, which requires that we do things differently, come out of the comfort zone. To stay open at the top is not an easy thing to do, for we are so conditioned from yesterday or the by race mind. So if we are aware of what we think, what we feel, and what we say, we move out of our comfort zone to stay near the top. I was talking to a friend a couple of days ago, and I was telling her, I said, in the last few months, I have been astounded by my thoughts, how race mind or thoughts of the race just slips right in. And if we're not aware, then that's who lives there. That who governs our behavior. Being aware, waking up to who we are as perfect spiritual beings allows us to live at the top of our mind, to stay at the top, to live in that space that we have created as grand rising. You see, we have been simply conditioned to live in two different worlds. From our government, to parties, to our religious institution, there's separation. With religions, many denominations. To stay open at the top is to accept new ideas, be willing to do things in a different way. Change the way you think about things. Is being open at the top. When you hear a new idea, don't throw it aside because you did not think of it first, or you thought of it long ago and ignored it. Let the idea tell you what the truth is. Often what keeps us from expanding is simply fear and not knowing how. The fear that we will lose what we have based on a consciousness of lack or a finite supply of good. Good is ever expansive, and our expanding with spirit simply expands our good. We can never exhaust nor lose the infinite supply as we work in alignment with the flow of evolution, the flow of our spirit. Stay open at the top. Stay open at the top. Lastly, not the least though of all, we are to be for something and against nothing. And he wrote this in the Sermon by the Sea. I contemplated that quote for many years, and I could not understand how I could be for something and against nothing. It was many years that I realized that simply when I stopped criticizing and began judging, then I was on the road to a grand rising. That was, I began to understand that everything is good. And if everything is God, everything is good. If I believe the principles of science are mine, then I must bring my reasoning back to everything is good. I must live by that principle of everything is good. When I am for something and against nothing, that allows me to stay at the top. It allows me to rise higher in my rising, climbing the mountain. It allows me to see clearly that I am part of everything, that I am not separated from anything, that everything, that I am made of everything, and everything is made of me. I often said to my students, either you believe in God or the principles of science of mind, or you don't. And if I believe the principles of science of mind, then I must bring my reasoning back to everything is God, everything is good. And to be against nothing is a challenge all of us must face in this teaching. We are living in a world where we have been taught separation and duality. To be against this, that, to see good and bad. And religious science, we were given this precious tool to help us to see only the good, to see that God is in everything, is and around everything, and through everything. And when we sit and we simply ask ourselves what it is, or I have come up late in the past few days of asking, give me, just asking myself to give me the spiritual meaning of what everything is. To be against nothing is a challenge for all of us. We have been conditioned to see the good and bad before. Now we see good and only good. He said, call everything good and very good. Holmes said the teaching was simple, but not easy. And that was because of our conditioning as human beings of good and bad and right and wrong. And so we cannot rise in a grand fashion in a mind of duality, a mind of separation. And it is up to us to bridge the gap in our mind of duality and of separation to see only the good. And I ask, show me the good in this. Many times in my early evolution, I could not see the good and what was before me. And I would simply ask, show me the good in this. What is the good in this? You see, because we are so complex as human beings, and life is so complex for us, and we are so grand that you can't even see who we are, only these bodies. That what happens on the spiritual levels of our being is to help us to move into that grand body, that grand idea of the human being, perfect human being, that which we are. And remember, perfect means having all of the essence of the original. And we do have all the essence of the original, our creator, and that is love, joy, peace, wisdom, beauty, life, and power. We have that essence, we have that energy in order to create a perfect life. So when we think of perfection now, I was talking to someone yesterday, and he said, "Well, I'm not perfect." I said, "Who told you?" I say, "Who told you that other than yourself?" I say that you are perfect. You just don't know. You just haven't uncovered your perfection for yourself. But I can see you as perfect because God made all of us perfect. We are the ones who decided that we were not. Principle is not bound by precedence. So as we work in alignment with the flow of evolution, the flow of spirit, we remember to turn to spirit when in doubt. Simply ask yourself, you are spirit. Ask yourself, so what if it never happened before? Principle is not bound by precedent. We look for new demonstrations. I do every day. So when we stay open at the top, we can receive new ideas to continue to thrive in a new world as we see good in everything. In closing, Dr. Holmes wrote in the Sermon by the Sea, it would be a wonderful world indeed if a group of people would arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. This would be the summum bonum of human organization. It would be perfect, the perfect way of living for all of us. Let us pray and give thanks for each individual message and for those who showed up this morning to be fed from the table of life. They receive wholeheartedly the bounty of love that is within them, and it comes forth to express in every action, word, and deed. So as we go out into the marketplace, the light and the love of truth and peace that we have received within this hour radiates out through us, healing our world and the world around us. So we give thanks for this privilege of showing up. Until we meet again, divine presence goes before us, making our way perfectly clear. So it is. So we let it be.
So it is. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Alma. What a wonderful talk this
pleasure.
morning. All right.
My pleasure.
All right. So now it is time for our conscious giving. We appreciate every one of you who shows up here every week. Those of you who listen to us on the podcast and listen to us later on YouTube or on Facebook. We're grateful for all of you and your support in that, knowing that we are just at the end of the year. There's still an opportunity to give donations generously for the end of year giving. And with that, you can do that at cslmidtown.org/donate, which is on the website. It'll take you right to the link, or on the QR code that's coming up on the screen with our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. We have a study group that meets at 10 a.m. on Sundays right before the service. And next week, it's the first week of the month. So we're going to be live in person with the potluck after the service. And with that, we've got Susan Zoller, Reverend Susan Zoller from SLCA is going to be our speaker. So we'd love for everybody that's in town to come out, join with us, and be there. And for those of you that are out of town, we'll stream it out to you. After the service, we have a Zoom conversation with the minister that spoke or that is speaking every Sunday. We try and do that so you get a little bit deeper insight into the talk or can ask questions to them. It's a nice interactive time. And so right now with that, we're going to jump over to Zoom. You can get to the Zoom on our website, cslmidtown.org/ and then scroll down to the very bottom. There's a link for the Zoom and the passcode to get in. That'll let you in and you can join the discussion live. With that, now let's say our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody. Happy New Year.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.